Hey guys, we are back online here. Sorry, we had to go away for a moment, but don't worry. Feature race is coming up very soon, and I think that one's about 29 laps of the full Red Bull Ring. So a little bit of a longer race, about 45 minutes is what we can expect. We'll be having rain, so man, I said maybe the penalties will be a bit better because the cars are more planted, but I did forget about the rain. And two of those tough corners that people are struggling with, the second to last corner and the very last corner, are downhill braking sections. Um, and just, yeah, like off camber turns almost. So it's very easy to end up on the outside of the turn there. Um,
Yeah, I'm just setting the grid up.
right? Yes. Yes. Are we still live? Great. Uh, Red Bull Ring, the full layout of the Red Bull Ring. Rather, we mentioned it was about a mile and a half for the short circuit. The full circuit is another mile plus on top of that, 2.6 miles for the current Grand Prix circuit. Just a few more turns there on the Grand Prix circuit, but some pretty famous ones that I'll try to remember all the names of as we go through. I'm pretty good at it. I think I'll have it all, and if push comes to shove, I have a little handy map in my hand that I can cheat with. But I don't think I'm gonna need to. All right, put some respect on my name, please. Anyway, for our feature race, the rules are as follows. The drivers will be in their selected GR3 class cars. The qualifying, of course, is held. The qualifying, rather, is the sprint race, and the first through seventh finishers of the sprint race start the feature race in reverse grid order. That means whoever finished first starts in seventh place, whoever finished seventh starts in first. You get it. Eighth place and beyond are all in the same order that they finished in. It's a rolling start for these races, so no need to worry about being on the gas too soon. Balance of performance is on, however, drivers are allowed to mess with their brake balance and aerodynamic settings. The tire requirements are off for this race because it's a rain race, and so whatever tire drivers feel is needed for the moment, including full wets, is what they can use. Tire wear will be at 2x, fuel usage is at 2x, the refuel rate is at 3 liters per second. They do start with a full tank of fuel at 100 liters. We'll start this race in the evening. The weather will be raining at the start of the race, and will change towards the end there. Time multiplier is at 1x. Uh, you ready for some more chaos, Stig?
Absolutely. It looks like we got some heavy rain hitting the ground on the track right now.
Heavy rain. Okay, we'll be able to
Well,
see that, and that should
it
show
looks
up in the
heavy.
rain meter for us as well.
All right. Well, I got the grid set, so I guess we're
It is up to you then, Maestro.
starting it up. Unfortunately, because I think I'm a little bit ahead, it's going to be hard for me to capture replays. So maybe if the broadcast catches up, then I would be able at that point. But if I see anything interesting, I'll try to capture it.
We trust you.
There we go. I'm here. I'm here. Tati, you still
I'm
there?
sorry, I had my mic was muted. I hadn't said much, nothing important, but my mic was muted. Just mentioning how excited I am about this race, and thinking about how the Nürburgring GP race went. We had some folks opt not to finish it because it got a bit frustrating. You know, they didn't realize the rain was coming. This time, no surprise, we're starting out with the rain on track. So hopefully everyone has remembered to put their rain tires on their cars. That's, step one, put the right tires on. Looks like we're underway now with this rolling start. All drivers should be past that last corner before it actually turns green, which is good. Obviously, you don't want to have to be getting on the gas in a turn in the rain. These are rear-wheel drive cars. They are green to go, but it will be difficult to put the power down in these incredibly powerful race cars with only two wheels doing all of the driving. So far through turn one, we're looking good. I think most people have survived it. Certainly at the start of the head of the grid, and looking at the map, I see everyone's little arrows still together. The truth in hot air, too wide. Going into turn two together here, they managed to survive it. That's good. That's pretty brave of them. AMS Super S2K going out a little bit wide there. But he should. Well, I think I just had a big jump in my stream. Did I just see a spin? Who just spun in the background there? Can you check? I think that might have been Dark and Azriel back there. Just saw someone turned around. Not sure. Maybe we'll catch up with it. I'm unable to tell from the stream right now, but I think I just saw a little bit of a spin happen in the background. These cars are 2 and 3 wide as they head towards um, the second turn, but we've already got quite a few drivers already behind. There's Dark and Azriel, Alikos just ahead of him. I said quite a few. It's just these two. These two completely out of the running off the train here, unfortunately. So they will have to spend the rest of this race catching up. Meanwhile, now we're looking at a little bit of a fight. Can we go back to that? Going into Schloss Gold here. And yes, off the track and into the kitty litter was Rusty Maggots, was it? No, it was Shred. It was Shred in that Aston Martin. So Shred won the last race. He started in 7th place. He's now in 8th, meaning he's lost the position to Corridor here, unfortunately for him. That's just too bad. Schloss Gold is a pretty difficult corner to get through sometimes, especially downhill braking in the rain. Lots and lots of cars around. I can see why he got it wrong. We're starting to settle into a line here for a few of these drivers. That might be a penalty right there for the second place driver. I believe that was Jeffrey that I just saw up there. By the way to go, Jeffrey. Jeffrey finished last race in 10th place. So for him to be up where he's at in second, I believe, yes, in second place, that is incredible. He's got to have second penalty here. He's going to have to serve it. Will likely lose the position to Super S2K, who's already made his way to third place. But I think he's done pretty well for himself in the very opening sequences of this race. Unfortunately, I missed those on camera, so didn't really see what happened. Ooh, the truth, kind of slow motion through Remus there, turn 2. But he's able
Yeah.
to make it work out. Super S2K does get past Jeffrey on merit. It looks like they're still side by side, but I think he's got it done. I think he's in the second place. Jeffrey has no reason to fight it, really, especially if it's just going to slow him down for Ryder there. He's going to hopefully take that half-second penalty and not lose a position, I'm sure is what he's going to hope for. Ryder
Yeah, actually,
needs his
I
own
noticed.
train. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna make an observation that it's crazy that Alikos, our leader who started the race, is in last, and opposite for Jeffrey, he's towards the front. So a little switcheroo there.
Wow, yeah, big switcheroo. And I didn't even notice. First place is the truth. So where did he come from? can't remember what position he finished the last race in. Sixth. He finished in sixth, so he would have been starting in what, fourth place, and he's made his way up to the first. I mean, rain. Listen, rain will show you who's got it and who doesn't. Really, it's the great equalizer, is what everyone calls it in racing. Ooh, Jeffrey with a big moment coming out of turn one. So easy to do. It's so easy to disturb the car in turn one, even in the dry. I don't envy these guys having to do this in the wet. Not at all. Did you notice if anyone put on heavy wets? It looks like it's like almost there, looking at the rain meter.
Yeah, I'll do a quick search through the grid, but it does look like most of everybody's on inters. I will say that it really doesn't really start concerning for heavy wets until that second bar is starting to get a little bit of blue filled in there. So I think inters is the right call at the moment, but based on the forecast, it is supposed to clear up to C1. So um, yeah, hopefully maybe some people might be able to put on racing slicks by the end of the race. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. It's hard to tell. Just for resolution here, but it's hard to tell if it's actively raining still or if the rain has stopped and um, we're just looking at track. Can you tell from your viewpoint?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like on OBS, I can't really tell, even though I have much higher resolution. So I think it is still possibly actively raining.
Okay, got it, got it. We just
I,
saw Ryder there with a 1 second penalty. He was doing pretty well in the last race for himself, and looks like he's not starting this one off too well. But no surprise there. Again, it is raining. And for those at home who aren't sure what we're talking about when we say the rain meter, and Tig mentioned the second bar there, if you look on the bottom left of the screen next to the readout showing everyone's tires, like what tires they're on, there is a meter there that you might see bouncing around. That meter indicates how much water is on the ground in the spot where the driver is. So there, it's dissected. It's cut into thirds there by 2 bars, 2 meters, if you will, or two bars in the meter, if you will. Once you get to that second bar there and above, you're looking at pretty deep standing water, and you're gonna want to go to a full wet tire. Right now, drivers are on what we call an intermediate tire, which is it's a racing tire, and it does have grooves cut into it for water evacuation, but they're not that deep. They're not the deepest grooves, and so it's still what we call kind of a slick intermediate, if you will. And then a full heavy wet tire has much deeper grooves to try and get some water up out from under those tires.
yeah, I did a quick run through the grid just to see if anybody's, the heads up display had the radar, and I went on last place. It looked like there is still water actively hitting the track. So hunker down.
Hunker down. 6 laps in, still raining. And Rusty with a slow exit out of turn one. That gives Hot Air, gives him a little bump there, not expecting to be right behind him. And I think I saw Corridor almost looking like he was going to try to get up front, but couldn't make that happen either. But Rusty just being real ginger on the throttle coming out of there makes sense to me. The car just gets so disturbed through turn one if you do it right. I've not found a line through turn one that was both fast and safe, quite frankly. Are you pretty good around here, Stig?
I mean, I really do like Red Bull, but obviously I like it a lot more when it's dry.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like, I think this is one of the first tracks that we got rain on in this game, if I'm not mistaken.
uh,
And
you talking about like overall?
yeah, overall, because I don't think did we get them at all the tracks that have rain. Did they all get rain at the same time?
Can't remember. Maybe PD had added a lot of these after the fact, but
I can't
I,
remember at this time either. But so what I'll say then, which feels more accurate, is that the Red Bull Ring is one of the first tracks I remember experiencing rain on. Um, in this game. And my first thought was, why did you pick the hardest one? I mean, it's not literally the hardest one, right? No, the Nordschleife exists, obviously, but this is a tough track to have to race in the wet. And pretty much every time we've seen someone come out of turn one, turn two, like we just saw with Jeffrey coming out of turn one there, the power oversteer, it's so easy to light those rear tires up. I'm surprised we haven't seen more people go around. Honestly, we did see um I think it was Dark and Azrael early in this race who had an off coming out of there. Um, but I'm surprised that we haven't seen even more.
What does
And you know what
surprise
else
me
is
is
not?
that Truth is like he is battling with Jeffrey, and I find it ironic because before this race, Jeffrey was the one in the GTR and Truth was the one in the Ferrari. So they did a switcheroo on car choice, and it seems that they're still battling here. It's so crazy.
You know, I wondered
Although I
about
think,
that with Jeffrey in the Ferrari. I couldn't remember ever seeing him in the Ferrari before, but you're right. Some drivers did switch cars, huh?
yep, as part of the rules, I allowed everybody to do a car switch mid-season. So Truth and Jeffrey did both partake in that change.
Got it. Now they're battling each other right here. Ooh, those look like penalties for sure. I was gonna say, I'm surprised we haven't seen more penalties, but actually that didn't turn out to be a penalty for Jeffrey. So maybe it's just a little bit of lag. It looked like he went way out there in that second to last corner, but I guess I was wrong. The truth fighting Jeffrey in fourth place surprises me because last we checked he was in first place. Now in first place is S2K. You got Shred, who's made his way up to second place. Last I looked at him, he was still in eighth, so he's been quietly
Right.
making his way up the order. It looks like.
Yeah, now he's
Just
starting to get back on S2K's butt.
yeah, yeah. It's the sprint race all over again. Jeffrey maintaining third place. Looks like he's finally done with that fight with the truth. Of course, we'll keep an eye on those two, and then Ryder. You can never count Ryder out in fifth place there. Beyond Ryder, um, I see Rusty in sixth, Hot Air in seventh, Corridor in eighth place. And then what's going on behind them? I know Dark and Azrael is still probably back there. It must be Dark and Azrael and Alikos, probably in the same order. They look pretty far away from one another on the map, from what I can see. They're going through Worth Corner right now, while everyone else is starting to negotiate Red Bull Corner. It's still pretty close
I will
between the first seven drivers.
I will say that the guys that are in the further back part of the track, their part of the track is going to be slightly drier than the ones in front of them because of the drying effect in this game. Now, it looks like Dark and
Yeah, and I do
Azrael
see
have
we're
gone,
starting to
yeah.
see a little bit of a dry line, and as we say that, here's Dark and Azrael jumping into the pits. So maybe he feels like that line is dry enough for slicks. We'll see. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know it's crazy because he's when he comes out, he's going to have a very narrow racing line, and if you even try to kiss or touch anything outside of that dry line, you're spinning.
Yep, you're out of there. You're out of there.
But he's in last place. He has really nothing to lose, so he's going for it. He's going to take the gamble. So we'll see how it plays out for him.
Yeah, I mean, why not take the risk? You are in last place. You literally don't have anything to lose. And it could work out if he's able to keep it on track and be the first person on those slick tires, maybe get a couple of laps on everyone else. He could definitely use it to catch up, at least with the pack, even if it doesn't result in him, gaining any positions. Perhaps he can catch up. I guess that would depend on when everyone else decides to get off the inters and go to the slicks themselves. So far, our leaders are staying out. Top three have remained out. So has Ryder in fourth place. Oh my gosh, and that was Ryder almost losing the the car there almost ended up in the wall, and then it froze at just the right moment for me, where all I saw was him at that extreme angle. He was able to hang on to it, though, it looks like, and will remain in fourth place. Rusty is right on his tail now in fifth, though. Yeah, I bet he won't do that again. And they're both riding in that wet water there on the front straight, just second straight rather, just trying to keep those tires cool and keep those inters from failing on them. They don't feel like it's time to get off of them. Look how close these drivers are, all the way through eighth place. Is Corridor still right there with a pack? The Truth down to seventh place. The Truth was leading at one point.
It seems his lap time's a little bit more inconsistent than the other drivers, so maybe he's just having a hard time in the GTR.
Could be new car for him, yeah. Rain race, of course, not easy for anybody, but certainly not easy in a new car.
The
Can we have a
GTR,
look? Go ahead.
oh, okay. No, you go first.
I was gonna say if we could have a look at Alicos to see how his out lap, and maybe he's gotten in a fast lap in as well. See how that's going.
I will say, well, wasn't it? It was Azrael that was on the saw or that switched into the pits.
Ah, yes.
But yes, he is doing well. Oh, well, yeah, that's right. He's on his first hot lap post pit, so I'm gonna sit on him for a second, see what his lap time looks like.
Yep. Let's do it.
Um, Rounding out the next to last turn. Let's see. Oh, I'm a little ahead. I'm like 3 turns ahead.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I just did a big head calculation because big math, but I'm about 20 seconds ahead on stream, so I'll try to slow things down a little bit, okay?
No problem. No problem at all. Thank you. Yeah, because I'm not gonna see it for 20 seconds after you've seen it, right?
He did a 136, and right now S2K on inters is still doing 34, so he's not quite there, but I still think he made the right call. He's got enough fuel to go to the end of the race.
Okay. We'll see. I mean, meanwhile, he's wearing those soft tires out, and if he's not going any faster than anybody on the inters, it does almost feel like no, maybe he was premature with this. Ooh, S2K with a huge amount of oversteer there, for at least what it looked like from the camera angle, and Shred is all over the back of him. Man, Shred has been on it today. Pokes his nose out there, sees if he can make a move on the Mercedes driver. Not quite yet. So he's going to stay and keep it nice and neat through turn one. Not be too naughty, though we know Shred can be pretty aggressive when he wants to be. Super S2K just drops the fastest lap, or fastest first sector. Jeffrey has the fastest lap. Just like a 133 there.
That is one thing I do enjoy about these races is we're going to see a lot of blue and purple as we see a drying track. So people will only be getting faster.
That's right. That's right. And it does seem like a distinct dry line is forming. So at this point, I wonder if there is much advantage to staying on the inters. I mean, like right through there, through Roush and Worth, that looks pretty dry to me. Obviously not on the curves. Once you touch the curves, that's a wrap. But it looks good on most of the track. These drivers are having to drive through the wet portion of the track on purpose to try to keep some life in these tires as they're starting to approach, almost 50% done on the fronts on some of these cars. Ooh, Jeffrey struggling to keep that Ferrari facing the right direction in the final corner. That looks scary as heck. I don't even know how he managed to hang on to that.
I will say, I think you're right. I think maybe Azrael did come out on those softs a little too early because I think right now the play is if you're going to go into the pits, you do it now and you go on mediums or maybe you wait a little bit longer on those inters, maybe 4 or 5 more laps, and go on the softs. But right now, I think we'll start to see more drivers. If it's going to be dry for the rest of the race, we'll see them coming out on mediums, possibly softs, but that'd be a bit of a gamble.
Got it. It's interesting to see Shred, cooling those tires down on pretty much every straight that he's come across. Where, I'm pretty sure that Aston has the legs to beat the Mercedes into the next turn on some of these longer straights, but especially with slipstream. But Shred opting not to use the slip, but just using pure power to stay, keep up with Super S2K.
Oh, yeah, it looks like their tire wear is nearly virtually the same.
Got it. In that case, then, I wonder if, S2K just feels like he's not going to stay on these very long, doesn't really care if they wear out, um, or if he just doesn't feel like there's an advantage to putting them. Oh, S2K off track there. That was a really weird moment because the car didn't snap in the direction that I would have expected it to snap in. That was awkward, and he's gonna lose that position to Shred. He also loses second place to Jeffrey. So Super S2K in third place now after just one small moment, and Shred probably happy to see that. Shred is pretty used to winning races in this series from the front. There now it's up to him to just keep it together. Still
I
wet
will
out on the track.
I will
Well,
say I think the dominance we're seeing right now from Jeffrey is just that Ferrari wet dominance right here, and I think that's why I'm not going to say that's why I think he's doing so well, but I think that it's definitely a bit of an advantage he has being in that 458 Italia.
I think that definitely helps. Uh, and I don't want to discredit him as a driver, like just his own driver skills. Because even though he's got the advantage of the 455.8 and being mid-engine and all that, having all that grip, this isn't a slow lobby. Like this isn't a bunch of drivers that you can just beat by having the meta car. You know what I mean? Like it still
Absolutely.
takes some real skill to stay up front here.
I will say one thing I do notice is if you look at the difference between tire wear between Shred and Jeffrey, Jeffrey's rears, which is also a disadvantage of mid-engine cars, those rear tires are getting shredded right now, and he's getting
Yeah.
gapped to Shred, ironically.
Well,
Actually,
I mean, still anything could happen because Shred's rears may look great, but he's got a whole lot less weight over them, and it's still wet on a lot of this track. You still got to be careful, no matter what. Where is Dark and Azriel right now? Can you check, or can you just put it on him? And I recognize that there's a delay, so it'll be about 20 seconds before I actually see
eh,
him.
right.
But I am curious to know how he's doing back there.
Well, he pitted lap 9, so
Okay, a little
since
while
since
ago.
then he's doing okay. Although he may have a little bit of an issue with tire wear later on in the race.
I think he will. I think he will. He's 15 seconds behind the truth. Um, Now I am a bit of a scaredy cat, so I have never tried this. But what happens if you take the slicks onto the wet part in the straights? Like, will you be okay, or will it still spin you?
Back in the day, I remember like when GT7 first came out, even on slicks on a straight line, you still could never do it. But they have fixed it where if you're on slicks, you could go in a straight line. You just better make sure that you're on your racing line before you enter the next turn.
That makes sense. Got it. Got it. So I wonder if he could use that to his advantage and try to cool the softs down, right? And try to make them last a little bit longer. We have another pitter. Ryder is in the pits now. 44% fuel. He's going to get off those intermediates. And you mentioned maybe getting on the medium for some drivers being the move. Of course, he's pitted a lot later than than Dark and Azrael did, so maybe the softs will work for him to the end.
Yeah, I think
Yep, he
it,
jumped to the
it,
softs.
and he's not the only person that did it. It looks like Truth Serum also came out on the softs the lap before that.
Got it. I didn't even notice that somebody else had pitted. So the Truth is out on softs. Dark and Azrael on softs as well, the oldest set, and now Ryder is also on the soft tire. I think we'll start to see more people jump in now. I can't imagine that they won't now that they've seen more people jump on the soft tires, especially those around Ryder. He was battling for fifth, so he's in contention. Do you foresee any I guess any major shakeups here? Because right now it's looking like everyone's kind of figured it out.
I guess I don't know. I feel like we really can't make that call until we've seen everybody come in and out of the pits once. And then
That's
we'll
when
have
we'll
a good
see how they feel
idea
about
what
the
the grid's going to look like.
Got it. Got it. Speaking of which, Super S2K is now in. Super S2K, we saw go from first to third in the span of one corner, is now into the pits, and so we'll lose more positions on track. But of course, should probably still remain at the very least third after all the pit stops have ended. Shred, meanwhile, enjoying lots and lots of clear air. He's doing 134s, it looks like, pretty consistently.
Yeah, he's made a nice little gap to Jeffrey. And if you notice, Jeffrey's tires are getting really bad. I think he misplayed it. I think he should have pit already.
I agree. He's losing time. He's losing time. It can't be helping him to do this. Maybe this lap, we'll see. And we'll see where he comes out in comparison to Super S2K, because that was his closest competitor as far as the top three goes that I can tell.
I know you mentioned it earlier, Tati, that you're a little bit of a scaredy cat, and I think in this particular race, if you have with this grid of great drivers, I think if you have that mentality, it may be a disservice. So hopefully, it doesn't come back and kick Rusty in the butt.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Am I
Shred,
allowed to say that word? I'm
Jeffrey,
sorry.
I think we can say but. Yep, yep. Shred, Jeffrey, Hot Air, Corridor now in the pits. I think we're going to start to see pretty much everybody jump in now. Though it feels like there's always like one straggler, right? There's like that always that one person who has held onto their tires way longer than they should have, and we're always stuck trying to figure out why have they not pitted. I think historically it's been Jeffrey. He's in, though you did mention that he should have pitted a long time ago, but at least he is pitting at the same time as most other people, it looks like, or a lot of other people rather.
Fortunate
And
for Shred, looks like he got him a pit line penalty.
yikes! Yeah, that's huge. 3 seconds. There's S2K, who's just passed him. So Shred in third place. How has Shred ended up in third though? Is it just S2K was that fast when he switched to the top?
Well, actually, if you notice, S2K I think made a pit miscalculation. He is on inters right now,
Ooh, yikes! Didn't change
unless he saw
tires.
something.
That will give you more time. Yeah, maybe he saw something on the radar. We can't see the radar, unfortunately, but Shred is going to have to eat a huge penalty there, which will eat up all of the gap that he had, you know, created for himself, even without Super S2K getting past him. We got Rusty in the pits now, so Super S2K should pass him and take first here. Ooh, he's way offline coming out of the last corner, though. That might be a penalty, is it?
I think what S2K is trying to do is stay in a wet track as long as possible.
That feels like that should have been a penalty, but maybe I'm tripping. Did you turn penalties off for this race?
No, we've seen a lot of
It
yeah,
was
we've seen a
so
lot of
far out of there.
penalties.
I know we have. It just shocked me. Uh, Rusty comes out on the softs as well. So if we think Super S2K saw something, he's the only one who saw it.
Oh, he just
And you can
missed.
see him diving for the wet part of the track there, indeed. Just trying to keep those tires alive. But I mean, uh, why? You gotta get off of them at some point, unless there is something there. They think that they gotta reach some more rain. Ooh, Darken Azrael off track. Big spin for him. That's not the first one that we've seen. So Darken Azrael will remain in last place, but by even more now. Almost half a lap, it looks like, in comparison to the drivers that we see headed towards the second to last corner here. Rent. I knew that corner had a name. It's like the corner has a name.
Like rent? Like paying rent?
No, Rindt. I'm guessing
Oh.
it's Austrian or German, some Germanic name. Rint. Maybe named after someone that we should know as racing fans, and I can't think of who that is. Sorry, Red Bull Ring. Sorry, Red Bull Austria. We apologize to you both. We do. Has everyone pitted? Can you tell, Stig? Or does anyone still? I mean, besides
I
S2K, is anyone still on inters?
everybody's I believe everybody is on racing soft tires except S2K, but we already know he did pit because
Right.
his inters are quite fresh.
Hmm.
But he's still in first.
I am curious to know what that's about. Um, because again, okay, if it's a mistake, why not immediately fix it? I guess what is the strategy behind staying out? Unless it's to, maybe back up the drivers behind you because they're going to catch up, right? Like maybe it's to back them up and slow them down that much more before you finally pit and change tires. I don't know.
I believe it was a pit mistake, but now he's trying to do his best to hold on and try to keep those tires as wet as possible on a drying track, which will be difficult towards the last, 7, 8 laps we're on. So,
They're already starting to look fairly worn right now. So yeah, it's gonna be hard in these last few laps. We're on lap 21 of 29, and second and third place are here, right? Jeffrey is right there. Shred is right behind him. So it's not like S2K's got a whole lot of time before they catch up. I mean, those inners are gonna be they're getting put to the test right now.
yeah, to me, it looks like S2K is taking a completely different racing line to take these turns in the wet as much as possible. He does have a nice gap, or it looks like the top three do have a nice gap to the rest of the grid. So let's just see he's able to hold on to podium. We'll see.
Well, Jeffrey just got passed right there in Slosh Gold, so that's done. Shred is looking to make a move into Roush and does. So Shred into second place. That was easy money for him. Jeffrey with a purple sector there, by the way. I think Jeffrey had fastest lap earlier this race. Um, but yeah, Jeffrey into first, Shred into second, trying to make up for that huge 3-second penalty he took. He's less than 3 seconds behind Jeffrey, so he hasn't lost all that much time. We just saw S2K go ahead and dive into the pits so he can take his soft tires finally, but he's not going to recover from that, unfortunately. Just like you said, just a pit lane mistake there by the team, not putting the right tires on. Ooh, we got a battle for fourth between Hot Air and Ryder. Rusty's not too far behind. Neither is the Truth Serum. Sorry, and that's a battle for third. I said fourth. So battle for the last podium spot between two of our toughest and fastest drivers here. right. Looking at the rain meter with some of these drivers. Definitely dry where it's dry, right? The dry line is pretty much fully dry. There are areas of the track that are still wet that you certainly don't want to go into with those slick tires, but I think we're done with rain. This is resolving into simply a cloudy day, as you mentioned that it would, Stig. And so drivers just got to stay on their P's and Q's. I mean, the dry line is pretty wide right now, so it shouldn't be too hard to stay on it and stay out of the wet stuff. But people will surprise you.
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, oh no. You'll find out in about 5 seconds. Sorry.
Okay,
I
that's
try not to.
hilarious. Oh
Yeah, I
no,
try.
you'll find
Curbs
out
are
in about 5 seconds. Oh, get
curbs are
on the
not safe.
curbs. Yeah, I was just going to ask about the curbs. It's so funny that this happened. I mean, it's not funny. Oh gosh, it's still happening to him. It's still happening to him. Okay. Okay. I think he's gotten it stopped. He's Jesus. Man, that was not good for a rider there. But it's funny because I literally was about to ask, so what about the curbs? Are they safe? Especially like coming out of like that double left-hander Roush and Worth, you have the right-hander there that you use a lot of the curb. And I wondered if it was safe. Probably not, given that it's relatively unsafe even in the dry. But now we've learned the outside curb at Rent and Red Bull are obviously not safe at all, as Ryder found out the hard way there. So he goes from battling for fourth and fifth to wherever he is now. He's not even showing up on the grid tree right now, so he must be somewhere in ninth or tenth. Unfortunately for him.
Yeah, I try not to be tease it, but you kind of heard me go, "Oh, I didn't mean
Yeah,
to." But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, the thing about driving over curbs to do a curb check is that they can't be curbs that you have to accelerate out of. You can they got to be curbs that you can coast over, to do curb checks to see if they're safe to start kind of widening your racing line to really optimize the full track. And unfortunately for our Red Bull Ring, there's not a lot of curbs that are called, coasting curbs for a drying track. There, most of them you have to accelerate out of.
right, right. That does make it hard to test them out and see if they're okay to use. Shred is up front now and already by 2 seconds. He got in front of Jeffrey. Just it looked like maybe just a few corners ago. But he's already put down quite a huge gap over the Ferrari that's supposed to have such an advantage here. So maybe something happened to Jeffrey, something unfortunate. Rusty is in fourth, the Truth in fifth. Super S2K is way down in sixth place after once leading this race. He's gotten up to lead the race in one lap, actually, and now he sits in sixth place and doesn't have a whole lot of time to get out of that position. Let's see, we said the Truth was in fifth already. I got Corridor in seventh, Alicos in eighth. Yeah, this race has not been easy for anyone. Neither was the sprint. But I think Red Bull has just been tough on everyone all around, huh?
It has been, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see different drivers in fighting for these podium positions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Shred, we're kind of used to seeing up there, though I don't think he's had one in a little bit. I don't think he got on the podium last round. Jeffrey, certainly we've not seen up in podium contention for several races now, and then Hot Air in third place so far is looking good, though he's under attack by Rusty, though. Rusty wants that place and is all over the back of him and not letting him go. So I do want to keep an eye on these two for a little bit just to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, if you can't recall, Hot Air he made a bold decision at the beginning of the season to get in that Jaguar. So it's nice to see him in a car that I know he's a lot more comfortable in that Nissan GTR, which is probably jack of all trades when it comes to a car. It's good for almost every single condition on most tracks. It doesn't really suffer at any single thing. It's just not. It doesn't excel in any particular thing.
Right, right. It's not a bad car, for sure. But yeah, that was Jeffrey that they both passed.
Oh
Jeffrey, who was in
no!
second place, he's in fourth now, and I can't tell if he was serving a penalty or recovering from like a spin or something like that. But they flew past him really, really quick, and it was in the area where you serve a penalty, so maybe that was it. But it was also coming out of a corner where, speaking of curb checks, you cannot accelerate on the curb if it's wet, and so hard to tell why they passed him, but they have passed him. So he's in fourth place now. He's on the back foot. He's already 2 seconds behind Rusty in third, who's still chasing hot air for that second spot. Um, that puts
It's
Shred in a really good position, though. I mean, Shred just has to bring it home here.
pretty much, yeah. And it looks like whatever happened to Jeffrey, it did happen on lap 25, the last lap, and he lost 11 seconds.
Got it. Who is that sitting in the pits? We have someone who has given up.
Oh no, is it Ryder? Oh, yeah.
I hope not, but he did have a huge spin there. I guess that's not good, you know. But yeah, you got to finish out the races, guys. Finish out the race. You never know. Points are points. You know, points are points. Finish it out.
Well, good news is our buddy Azrael, he is team not last place now, so he'll take it.
Yeah.
He'll take free positions where he can.
Let's go. Tarkin Asriel, not last. I mean, listen, whatever you can get, right? We've seen him have a couple of spins. Don't know if there have been penalties, but it wouldn't surprise me if there have been. So, whatever he can get, I'm sure he will take.
I think Alikos made a similar mistake because he's currently on inters. I think he might have fat fingered the tire selection on pin entry.
Ouch. Yikes. I guess, I mean, at this point, there's no point in going in. 14 seconds to darken Azriel. Just, you know, drive in the wet as much as possible and hope that Darkin doesn't have some insane amount of pace over you, but I don't think he will. I think that I think that Alikos might still be okay. But that's surprising that that happened twice. We didn't even notice before.
And AMS, it looks like he just set the fastest lap. So, we'll see if he can hold on to that point, 2 points actually, for fastest lap. But I'm curious where he would have been if he just stayed out in the inters. He could be further ahead, and you never know.
Could be, yeah, might not be. I mean, obviously wouldn't be first or second because we saw that pass happen. Um, but maybe could be somewhere between Rusty and Jeffrey, or even fighting them. Who knows? But
Nah, yeah. I
decided not
don't
to
think
risk
I,
it.
I think he made the right call. I because at some point, like right now, there's no rain on the racing line, and you can't just keep driving on the wet part. It's going to catch up to you regardless.
Yeah. Yep. Well, here we are taking a look at Shred, who again just has to bring it home. Just be safe. Just be careful. Brake early. Accelerate gingerly, and just enjoy what you've got here. I think this might be Shred's first feature race win. We'll have to ask in the interview. I'm trying to think if he's won a feature before now.
I don't know. I don't. I can't recall. I don't think he has.
well, feedback for you, fearless leader. We need the race results in the Discord. 2 weeks between races. It's not always easy to remember what happened or what didn't
Right.
happen. It's certainly hard to go way back in the beginning, but we try. Final lap coming up for our drivers here. And it's been grueling at the Red Bull Ring for a lot of folks. I'm sure they can't wait for this race weekend to be over. It's not been fun for some of these drivers. It's been very lucrative for others. But it's all coming to an end here in just a few short corners. Shred is so far ahead of this group here that he'll be finishing much sooner than the others. He's coming up on the halfway mark of the track here pretty soon. And meanwhile, behind him, there's a line with Hot Air in second place over Rusty. Rusty in third. Jeffrey, who lost second place to these two, catching up and maybe hoping there's some sort of Hail Mary he can piece together. I doubt it, as they themselves now come into the halfway mark of the track. We're going to go to Shred and watch him cross the line for the last time in just one more corner. A win for Shred in his Aston Martin. Back to black for the Aston. He was in a red Corolla in the first race, but black back to his traditional colors for the feature. Hot Air in second place will hold on to that position over Rusty, who's literally on his bumper. Jeffrey will take fourth place, and behind Jeffrey is the Truth into fifth, who's had another somewhat quiet race. Oh no! S2K, Super S2K spinning in the last corner here. He's supposed to take sixth place. He might keep it. I think he is going to keep it, actually, even with a humongous spin there to end his race. And we're going to wait a little while Corridor uh, comes through the last corner himself to take seventh place now, crossing the line. And behind him, we will have Alikos in eighth.
Yeah, I
And
was
then
thinking.
Dark and Azrael in ninth place should cross the line next. And then, of course, Ryder is going to take the checkered flag from the pit lane in 10th. What were you saying?
I I was like, now we'll never know if it was intentional because he knew he had such a gap. And I was like, all right, well, it was funny too because when I saw the stream, all I see is dark. All I see is his car just sliding across the screen in the background. I'm like, oh no! And I had to keep my
Yep.
mouth shut, not try to laugh and tease it to you guys. 15 seconds later.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for not spoiling it. And it is hard to tell if he did it on purpose or not. I don't know. That's a big risk to take, but maybe he felt like it. He could have done it, and so he did. But Shred, I'm sure, is incredibly happy with himself, and that'll bring him closer in the standings too, especially with Win not being here. A win is the absolute best thing that he could have done for himself, and he did it. And didn't do too bad in the sprint either, if I recall correctly. Where did he finish in the sprint? Was it second?
Shred.
Yeah.
Let me pull out my pictures.
Pull out your pictures, 'cause I don't remember. While you're pulling it out, though, I will read the finishing order. We got Shred in first place, Hot Air in second, Rusty Maggots in third, Jeffrey took fourth place, The Truth in fifth, AMS Super S2K in sixth place, Corridor 71 in eighth, and Alikos, I'm sorry, in seventh, and Alikos in eighth place. And we will give it a few seconds so we can see the rest. Ninth place, we're looking at Dark and Azrael, and then Rider 15 in 10th place, who did not finish the race. So that is our finish here. Unfortunately for Ryder, that's the second rain race that he has had to sit the end out on. I can tell he does not enjoy driving in the rain. So he was doing pretty good up until that moment, though.
Well, I know that he has potential of greatness. I know, Ryder's probably, in my opinion, probably one of the more talented drivers in this lobby. And to see him struggling, and it hurts. It hurts a hole in my heart. So hopefully, he continues to work on his craft in the rain, and I think we only have, was it two more rain races in the sprint and one more race possibly at the end of the season at Fuji in the super formula that could possibly have rain.
Got it. Got it. Yep, I do see a couple more random weather races and two that specifically say rain will be on there. So yeah, I hopefully he can do okay in those races. We'll see. We'll see. Man, what did you think? First time joining us for calm.
I I told them where, I mean, I think they should know where it's at. We have mentioned it before.
Yeah, our interview room. I do see a couple of people already in there, so I think it's time to jump in there. We'll give you guys all a break while we go join our podium winners and get them prepped for interview. All right, guys, we are back. Thank you for hanging on for us. We're in the interview room right now with our three feature race podium winners. We're going to start with Rusty, who took third place in this race. Rusty, you ended this thing right on Hot Air's bumper, which can be frustrating in its own way. But I think you had an overall good race. You think you had Hot Air if you had like one more lap?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I feel like I could have got him any of those last 5 laps. It's just really hard to pass with having to stay on the dry line.
Oh,
Um,
right.
I mean, I had the pace to pass him on lap 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. But I mean, you could have gave me 40, and I don't know if it would have happened because it could have just been repeating the same thing over and over. Um, Ultimately, though, I made a mistake staying out too long. He undercut me in the pit. I think I was the last person to pit onto the soft tires, or at least do the first pit stop. There was rain on the radar, and I knew I needed to pit for like optimal race time, but I was just kind of waiting to see, is it gonna rain? Is it gonna rain? Is it gonna rain? And then like the rain hit on the radar, but it was so like light and right on the edge that it never actually rained on the track. And I was like, okay, it's time to pit. And by then, a lot of people had already made up time on me on the track, and had I pit a couple laps earlier, I probably would have came out ahead of Hot and would have been different. But either way, I'll take it. P3 in the feature. I think this is my second podium, and then I got a second in the sprint, which is my best sprint race yet. So
Yep.
yeah, got a little miffed on that one though. I think it was the first or second lap. I got bumped in the rear end just a little bit, but it sent me off track. And apparently that's a 1 second track limit penalty, even though I get bumped off. And so I lost a bunch
Wow.
of ground right off the bat. And I was like, oh, that's that's some bull crap, but oh well. That's Gran Turismo for you sometimes. But it's all good. Second and third, I'll take it.
Second and third is not bad. Yeah, I wondered what happened in that sprint race. That explains it. I'm sorry that happened. But and yeah, totally understand what you mean about it being difficult to pass, having to stay on the dry line. Red Bull Ring is not easy to pass that anyway because the dirty air, and now you can't really like find the angles to try to limit that dirty air and catch up to hot air. But well done to you. Congratulations. Stig, do you have any questions for Rusty?
I think really you knocked it out of the park, and I think Rusty kind of discussed the situation that he had too. I will say I know it's about to get really confusing because me and Rusty have almost the same voice, but Rusty, if you feel like if you had, well, you answered your own question. If you had, if you had came out in the pits earlier on softs, you maybe had been looking at a P2. But I will mention there's just one little thing I will mention is that I think it's okay that you were, very cautious in coming back out on another pair of inters because uh, S2K and Alicos did make that mistake and they came back out on inters and their race suffered because of it. So it's okay that you were cautious, and I think me knowing you and knowing you are generally a very conservative driver. Congratulations and great driving.
Yeah, thanks. I noticed that too, and there was definitely a point in time where had I pit earlier, I would have gone on to the inters as well. Because of that rain coming on the radar, it was just 50-50 whether or not it was going to hit. So I just decided, I could pit early on the inters and then it doesn't rain and I have to pit again, or I pit early onto the softs and it rains again and then I got to pit again. So I just decided to basically wait as long as I could until I knew what tire compound I needed to be on and then pit. So, the safe, had I pit a little earlier in hindsight, I probably would have gotten the second place. But being conservative, I think at least, guaranteed me a podium in that case because other people around me were making the mistake I almost did.
Good deal.
Yep.
And congratulations.
Very good call.
Yeah, thank you.
And that explains why a couple other drivers did go back out on the inters there. We didn't know there was rain on the radar. Hot air, second place. Congratulations. I think you didn't do too bad in the sprint race either, if I'm not mistaken. But I think this is your first podium, right? For a feature.
Incorrect.
No, I'm wrong.
Nürburgring Group 1.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, welcome back to the interview room.
Thank you.
What did you do in this race? Is it just are you just great with the rain? Because I mean, I don't
Rained a
know.
nerd.
I
Yeah.
didn't even. I don't think I have a good sense of how you ended up in second place in this race.
So a lot of it had to do with pit strategy and with the prediction. Pretty much the entire team, being myself, Shred, S2K, and Jeffrey, were keeping an eye on the radar, and we were being really careful of watching the wind and where the clouds were moving, and that ultimately is what gave us the edge over Rusty because we pitted one lap early,
Nice.
and that's what gave me the undercut. And like he was saying about attacking and defending with wet lines, it's almost impossible if the defender can do it correctly.
Right. Right. Well, it did work out for you guys as a team. Obviously, we're looking at two NVR drivers on the podium. Um, so obviously that worked out well for you. Thank you. Stig, do you have anything that you want to say to Hot Air?
I was gonna say good call. Change into the GTR. I know it's a car that you're a lot more comfortable in. And if I was
Yeah.
on the grid today, I would have also been in the GTR. But unfortunately, yet fortunately, I am here helping, the stream. So I'll take today as a drop. And I know you're gonna jump ahead of me in the grid points. So watch out. Next race.
Oh, I'm counting on it. We've been
But
neck and neck the entire season so far.
that's right. Well, congrats to you, man, and well deserved.
All right,
Yeah,
thank
you
you.
podium now, Stig.
I got some work to do.
Yep. Yep. Shred, the final person on our podium here, number one for at least this race. Shred, this race was incredible. I think at one point you were in 8th place when we looked, and then the next thing we saw, you were in 2nd place. How did the early stages of this race work out for you? How did you get up front so fast?
We were driving up. I actually took downforce off the car, betting that it was going to dry out. So it was sketchy in the beginning. And I was just trying to stay on the track, driving wet lines and what have you. There was a little bit of contact between Jeffrey and I, which is probably why you saw us drop far down the order. But we did get through it. It was just a matter of surviving and trying to get through the traffic and the rain and just try to build up a gap where we can figure out what to do next, because that radar was menacing with the wind. The clouds kept moving around and we weren't sure whether it was going to
Yep.
hit us hard or whether it was going to be cloudy. And we just decided to pit when we did. I thought at the time we pitted too late, and I made a last minute change and went, oh, we should go a lap longer, and we did, and thankfully it worked because we had pretty good soft tires on a pretty good wet track. And yeah, I did make a few mistakes as well. I actually spun out coming out of turn 1 and lost quite a bit of time and this and that. So it wasn't a clean race on my end. But I also did win the sprint as well, which is surprising because I didn't think I had pace to win the sprint, especially with Rusty's crazy qualifying lap.
Yeah,
And that was a
double
frantic
win.
sprint as well. Yeah, that was a frantic sprint as well.
It was.
Just went from 0 to 100, back to 0, and back to 100 again. So yeah, I think honestly today was just a matter of like keeping it clean and trying to not cause any issues. And I think that's what won overall.
Well, the strategy worked out. Both times we saw you battling it out with Super S2K, who has come out as an incredibly fast driver, and both times you were able to come out on top. Congratulations on the double win. Huge points for you, especially with Wid being out this weekend. So we look forward to seeing you carry those points into the end, the final stretch here of the season.
I look forward to it.
Shred, I will start by saying you're insane, knowing that you started this race, knowing there was a lot of rain on the track, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I just won't run down force. So yep, you're insane. 2, you've done something that Witt hasn't done this season, is win both the sprint and the endurance. So he's gonna hate you for it.
Yep.
But you know, that's good motivation. But I will say you did a fantastic job today. Even, you know, we caught your little spin earlier in the middle of sector 2, so you know you made some mistakes, but yet you were able to recover and come back stronger in those mistakes. So good job, and we'll see you at the next race hopefully. And you're contending, so keep working and you know, try to take Wit off the podium, or well, off pole.
I will. I'm going to a good track for me. So really good track in St. Croix. So we'll see what happens.
I've raced you there, so same layout, I think.
I think it was backwards. Anyway, I think it was
Well,
backwards.
we're doing
I'm
A
not
and C
sure.
forward this time around.
Oh yeah,
I
we're
think we
doing
did C reverse. Yeah.
A and C reverse. Yep, A forward, C reverse. Group 3, Group 1.
Is it C reverse? I thought it was C forward.
We did C reverse and FOR Stig. And then this round is C forwards with the group 1s.
Correct.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh boy. Well, we can't wait to see it. I love St. Croix. Forward, all layouts forward, only forward for me. Thank you. But that should be some great racing as well. Thank you guys for joining us in the interview room. Congratulations on your podiums and your points. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks, hopefully, to gain even more.
Well, sadly, this upcoming round is going to be one of my drop rounds, so we'll not be able to make it. But I'll be rooting for my team, and I can't guarantee I'll be watching the stream, but like I said, I'll be rooting for them.
I do have one question for you guys because I know S2K was in your chat. Did he
What's up?
accidentally come back on enters, or did he
I
take the gamble
believe-
against the thread?
I believe it was a gamble that did not pay off.
Gotcha.
He was,
But it was
yeah,
sort of a hedging your bets kind of thing where he went enters, we went to softs, and for him it just didn't work.
Gotcha. Okay. The juice was not worth the squeeze.
No.
Right?
Guys, we gotta close out here. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right. I'll watch the stream. See y'all then.
See ya.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Okay, guys. So the next race will be, as you heard, at Saint Croix A, and I believe we said C. Yes, Saint Croix A and Saint Croix C in the GR3 cars for the sprint race and GR1s for the feature. So should be very, very fast. We're going to be in the GR010 GR1 Toyota car again. Love that thing. It should be a huge, huge race. Do not miss it. Man, what else? Of course, we're brought to you again by Trails End. See them for all your home improvement needs. They can help you out with plans, architecture, etc. Thank you, Stig, for jumping in and running cameras and doing comms with me on last minute notice. You did great. There were technical issues. It happens to the best of us. Really appreciate you. Naughty, thank you again for coming in and producing. I think you're also out of town like me. We're all just trying to make this happen from wherever we're at. So we love to bring these races to you guys. We'll see you all in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.